When there was an opportunity to do a PhD in soil science, I grabbed the opportunity because for me that was really something that spoke to that inner interest in the wider agricultural environment. And in that PhD, one of the fundamental aspects for me was understanding how soils form, and in particular the rates at which they form. Using those two kind of numbers, can we get a sense of how long we might have left before soils erode away to bedrock? And take a look at a three-dimensional soil profile and kind of work out, almost like a bank balance, are the withdrawals per year faster than the inputs? We know how fast we're losing soil, we know how fast we're gaining soil. Is one exceeding the other? And if formation exceeds the erosion of soil, then of course soils are growing. But there are some really basic things that we can do. We can improve the protection or the cover over that soil. And some of these cover crops not only help protect the soil, but they can input carbon into the soil as well. You get a win for the soil and maybe a win for your business as well. Soils are the largest land-based store of carbon. The amount of carbon in soils exceeds that within the atmosphere and above ground vegetation combined. We know that carbon at depth is more likely to be protected and less likely to be respired back to the atmosphere. And so that, I guess, is one of the emerging challenges that we have within soil science. I would like to think that everyone is invested and enthusiastic about soils, that in many ways we're all soil enthusiasts. And we really should be, because everything that we survive and we depend on, from the food we eat, the water we drink, the clothes we wear, the buildings that we live in, raw materials that kind of are the foundation of our lives, all of that is really important for us, and we should be invested in safeguarding soils. I think the tricky thing here is that it's almost omnipresent. It's so much around us. It's ubiquitous in our day-to-day life, but we sometimes take it for granted. But one of the things that I've been doing in the last couple of years is developing the UK's first soil science apprenticeship at master's level. And that is training those who are within organisations, working with soils, sometimes on a day-to-day basis, sometimes seasonally, depending on what their workload looks like. But it's training them in applying knowledge of soils to their day-to-day practice. It's about upskilling them to look after soils, to safeguard soils, to manage soils, but also to make better recommendations to those who are also working with soils. We have a lot of students on the cohort who are regulators and work within policy, and so those people are going back to the farming community and relaying their knowledge that they've got from the course to the farmers, and that's a great avenue of soil communication. It means that soil scientists can train the next generation, who will then train the next generation, and so on. Artificial intelligence is here to stay, and the AI use within soil science will shoot up in the next decade. It will be one of the ways in which we understand soils in much more detail, with a kind of depth of understanding that we're not quite getting at the moment. But it's also going to allow us to connect the dots between phenomena in soils, help us with modelling, help us look at and process large data sets as well. I'm very optimistic about the future in soil science, because all of these things are showing that the awareness is going up, the education is starting to grow, and that's really the key thing. It's about enthusiasm and knowledge, and if you've got those two things, then you're halfway there at least to managing soil sustainability for the future.